this course, you will be facing a lot of terms which are often used interchangeably. In fact, you yourself might use these terms interchangeably. It's interesting to understand these terms, and one thing I would really recommend for you to do is to look at these terms, understand their meanings, and see how you relate with these terms. And it's nice to know about these terms because you might be asked this question by parents or by students yourself, that how does this term differ from the other? So terms like occupation, livelihood, job, profession, industry, career, vocation, mission, calling, all of these terms will be used, and they are often used. So let's just take them briefly one by one. So livelihood, anything that serves to provide the basic necessities of life, food, shelter, clothing, is a livelihood. So if that be the case, then almost everything that you do which earns you money is your livelihood. But we don't use that often, do we? We use the term job more often. What do you do as a job? Now, job is one part of what you might be doing, or a place where you might be using your qualifications at the present moment. For example, you might be a teacher. You have qualifications of a master's, of a B.Ed, but right now your job could be of that of a principal. So you're no longer a teacher. So that is what a job is. A job role can change based on the place where you might be working at a particular moment of time. Profession. Profession is what you are doing which requires very, very formal qualifications which qualify you for that particular role. For example, a doctor needs a very specific formal qualification. However, if I am an English graduate, that is not a professional qualification because I could use the same graduate degree to be maybe used in journalism. I could use that in advertising. I could use that in PR. I could use that anywhere actually. Moving on. Occupation. Something actually simple as which occupies your time during your work time. But again, it is quite in sync with profession. It is quite in sync with your job, which brings you money. When we talk about industry, initially this word spoke about things that were manufactured from raw material and were made in industries, in factories, and that is why this term came up. But now it is used to talk about a certain space of work. So that is why you have a hotel industry. Even though you're not manufacturing anything in a factory, you have the education industry. Even though we definitely are not manufacturing. And I don't call equipping students with knowledge manufacturing. I don't think you would also. So industry is a basic space that you could be working in. And in that space, you could be working in a variety of jobs, in a variety of professions, earning your livelihood. Remember that. Moving on, vocation. Now, vocation is actually a very large term. It talks about something which is a call beyond your job. That is what vocation is. But nowadays, when we talk about vocational training, we're talking about the hands-on experience that a nurse might have, or a craftsman might take, or an architect might have. The hands-on training is what we call vocational training. But the term vocation has a meaning which is far more comprehensive. Mission is something that you feel you are meant to do. And that is basically a personal philosophy. Now, I could be a teacher and my mission could only be to earn money. However, I could be a teacher and my mission could be to make sure that no matter who comes in contact with me, no matter for what amount of time, I will make sure that they don't leave my company without gaining one extra piece of knowledge from me. So I'm a teacher, and that's teaching is my mission then. And it doesn't matter whether I'm in a school or not. I could be outside and still be a teacher. In fact, they say once a teacher, always a teacher. And when we talk about calling, calling is something that deeply calls out to you. It is in sync with your values and you have a personal and emotional connect to it. I'm sure we know of doctors or engineers, for example, who have left their jobs and they are helping students pass those entrance exams. That could be a calling for them. Or we know of lawyers who've left their jobs in very high law firms and are helping people pro bono to fight a certain case in a specific area. It could be sports, it could be domestic violence, it could be anything. So that is something that is in line with your values. That is your calling. And honestly, if we can help students find an alignment in their livelihood, in what they do as their livelihood, and their mission, and their calling, and all of this comes together, we've just made a very happy individual. So let's try and do that.